what's up? It's Core Connection with Corey G. If you are around, jump on and join me. Today we are talking about your story and what happens if you want to change it and what does it take to change it. So jump on and join me, tell me where you are, and I will go ahead and get started. So this topic is something I'm super passionate about. I love stories. I always wanted to be a writer even when I was young, because I was obsessed with books and wrote a short story when I think I was in the 6th grade and had it bound and entered into a contest. So stories are like part of my DNA, I feel like. And of course, they're part of what make the world go round. We live on stories. That's why we love movies and stories of overcoming adversity, anything like that. Those are the things that we connect to because it resonates with us as human beings and going through the experience of what it means to be a human being and the challenges and trials and tribulations that come with it. And we love to see people that navigate those challenges well, and we love to see how they did it and how we can learn from them. So thinking about what your story is, a lot of times we end up living a story that we're not necessarily psyched about. And this is super common. So a lot of times maybe we get not stuck, but we end up in jobs and we end up staying there year after year after year and not changing because, of course, the path of least resistance is comfortable and familiar, and it's often easier just to stay instead of seeking outside of you for something different or making a change. Same thing with relationships. Often we can get caught in relationships for longer than we need to after we kind of know it's time for us to move on. And so if you are in a place where you're living a story and you're like, you know what, this isn't the story that I really want to live, what I want to share with you are some ways to start to change that story, because your story is your life. I have lost quite a few friends over the years for various different reasons. And it's really impactful to think about, for me, I felt like they left too soon and I wish they could have lived a longer period of time. But to think about at the period of time when they did leave, what was the story that they left behind? What was their life like up to that point? And so that's the story they have. And so for me, thinking about, what is the story that you want to leave? When it's your time to go, do you want to leave a story of having struggled and suffered and kind of put up with things and got through it and kind of settled? Or do you want to live a story that you're proud of and that is a story that your kids and your grandkids or your nieces and nephews or your family is excited to share with other people because you are an inspiration of overcoming challenges and creating something amazing? And it's always a choice, and I understand and I know from personal experience, it's very challenging to change our stories. Because a lot of times we are trained and programmed at a really early age in certain beliefs and behaviors, and often it takes some life-changing circumstance to get us to make those changes. But it doesn't always have to be you at your breaking point in order to make a change. It just takes deep desire, deep connection to a vision that's greater than you, a sense of purpose and meaning that's greater than you, and really a sense of being called to living a life that is, for you, meaningful, significant, prosperous, passionate, and fun, because fun is part of what lights us up. Joy is one of the highest emotional states, and so living from a place of joy is what allows us to contribute in a much bigger way. So, couple steps I'll share with you, 3 steps I'll share with you of how you can start to make changes if you're in a place where you're really ready to change your story, whether that's in your career, which I know those can be some of the most difficult to change, as well as relationships are also difficult to change, or if it's just in your health and fitness where you're ready to start being in a body that you feel proud of and that gives you the energy to do the activities that you care about. So, hey, I can't see who's there, so say hello so I can say hi to you. Okay, so one of the first things to think about is, why do you want to change? Like, what is the driving desire behind this change? And often, like I mentioned, sometimes it is coming from a place of you've kind of hit rock bottom and you can't take it anymore. And that is actually not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing, because it does instigate change much more quickly. We're much more inclined to make change to get away from pain than we are to move towards desire. So connecting to, what is the pain of living a life that I don't love, of having work that I don't find meaningful, of being in a relationship that doesn't feel supportive, or of having a body that doesn't allow me to do the activities that I enjoy, and that maybe you're plagued with health problems, and what is the impact of that on your life? Or the stress of working long hours and not having much of a social life and not feeling much joy, and needing, or not needing necessarily, but tending to reach out to distractions to numb you from the discontent that you're experiencing. And what is the impact of those distractions? Whether that's spending too much time on social media and not sleeping enough, whether that's overindulging in food or alcohol or shopping, what is the impact of that on your life? The stress and the anxiety and the overwhelm, and really the deep discontent of knowing you were here for something grand, and just getting by and numbing yourself from that feeling of wanting to live a life that is meaningful and impactful and purposeful isn't going to cut it. And so really connecting with that so that you have that internal fire within you to start to make those changes. So as you are on the journey of changing your story, the most important thing is to, beyond having that deep desire and drive and that fire within you to make it happen, is to know what is the story you have been living, and doing the work to clear out that old story so that you make room for a new story. And so really discovering what are the beliefs that I'm holding on to that are creating my current situation. What are the beliefs that I need to hold to create a new situation? And how do those beliefs then impact my actions? And how do those actions then impact the results or the life that I actually get to live? And so the first part is really removing all the blocks to being the person who lives the life that they desire, who does meaningful work, who has rich and rewarding relationships, who has incredible health. And then the second part is starting to create that new story now. And so that's where that deep desire and passion and fire comes in, where you can start to create that vision of the life that you desire with detail and emotions, and start to live into it. So thinking about what are the beliefs that you need to maintain, and catching those old beliefs when they come up, and rooting them out so they don't take over, and being vigilant with not letting a single thought that doesn't support you pass through your mind, which takes a lot of work, but it's so worth it, so that you can start to become the person that you desire. And that person, what are their beliefs and what are their actions? What do their relationships look like? What are the activities that they engage in throughout the day? What is the type of work that brings them the most joy and meaning? And it truly is a reflection of them, and will be their legacy that they leave for others, for their family and children and grandchildren. And then you have to start living that story now. You can't wait until you make a change. You can't wait until something happens, and you can't wait at all. You have to start living the story now, even though your external circumstances might not have changed, because all of this work is internal. So once you start living a different story on the inside, that's when your story on the outside starts to change. So then the third step is to take action. So really the second step is envisioning and starting to create a vivid picture and spending some time in visualization. Even I like to journal out what it looks like and how you'll feel and all the different experiences you'll be having. And then the third part is to start taking action right away as the person who already is living that life, and expressing gratitude for it, and speaking in terms of fulfillment and expectation, and even having a buddy you can talk to where you can start speaking about it as if it's already happened. So speaking in past tense about what you desire, as if you already had it and now you're on to the next thing, so that everything in your life starts to reflect that internal picture that you have. It's really the desire of your soul that has been there and will always be there, and is calling you to start living out a bigger life. So that's how you start to create a new story. Any questions? That was super fast. So I am super excited to announce that I'm starting a membership. So twice a month, meeting with me in a group coaching. You can ask questions. I'll be offering meditations. I'll be offering some of these visualizations that I've talked about. to really help you tap into that person that you want to step into and the life that you want to create. Also included are journal prompts to really get you into that space of living and creating a life that you desire. And then also fun disruptor activities. So activities to get you out of your comfort zone, taking bold actions, taking massive steps to quantum leap your success instead of crawling in baby steps, really catapulting yourself into that next level. So through the end of this month, it's only $11 a month, which is amazing. So get your hands on that, and that price will increase at the end of the month. It'll triple at the end of the month. So if you're interested in getting support in a flexible model where you can join for a month, you can leave, you can come back a month or two later, you can come and go as you would like. So it's an awesome opportunity to get the support you need as you start to create a new story, and to get the tools and resources to use to equip yourself as you start making those changes, so that you're taking the right steps and having that support to keep implementing the actions necessary to make those changes. So the link is in the comments. So grab a copy, grab the link, and you can sign up right away. And it'll be the first and third Tuesdays of every month at noon on Tuesdays. If you have any questions, of course, reach out to me. I would love to hear from you all. Oh, yay, now I can see who's there. Yay, hi Deb and Clarissa. What's up, Oz? Okay, so my question that I'll leave you with is, what is the story that you want to live out for the rest of today, for the rest of the week? What is the story that you want to know at the end of the day you lived as a true reflection of you, as a life that you desire, and as the person that you desire to be? What does that look like? Would love to hear your thoughts, and would love to hear any ahas or big takeaways, and hope to see you all in my Core Connection Academy, which is now open for enrollment. Yay! All right, talk to you all soon. Thank you so much for being here.